I don't believe it. Have you ever said that to yourself when you're thinking about making change in your life or improving things or going after something that seems really out of reach, or maybe it's a real problem you're facing? You go, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. We really got to take a close look at this. Listen, my name's Doug Dane, and too many people struggle in their life because they've got a mistaken identity. Life can be simple. If you don't feel confident to succeed, your mistaken identity is probably causing you problems. My book explains your mistaken identity and the mistakes that you make, why you make them, and why you have some of these mistaken beliefs that you have that actually really get in your way and hold you back and stop you and cause all kinds of problems. And so I want to give you a daily tip today about beliefs. And listen, make no mistake, you definitely deserve better. So there's so many things that you believe that aren't true, but very rarely do you evaluate your beliefs to see if they are in fact true. So we have all these beliefs that we just inherited, we adopted, they got drilled into us, and you hold on to them really tight, like they're really important to you, and you very rarely actually even question them. Now, generally, the only time our beliefs really get questioned is if we run into a problem or there's a dramatic change in our life. We really have to kind of reevaluate life. Death, death of a relationship, death of a spouse, death of a child, some major thing that causes you to reevaluate your life and your beliefs. In my book, one of the chapters is called The Big Con. And so, listen, you've been conned to believe things. And when you were young, you were influenced by the adults, and the influence was strong. So your parents, teachers, religious and cultural leaders or influences in your life, they built up this set of beliefs, and they just expected you, that you would adopt them. And there was a huge compulsion and a requirement for you to conform to those. Now, why would you fight for your beliefs so much when they create such inner conflict? Now, think about that. If you're feeling inner conflict, we always go to what's wrong with us. I'm just feeling in conflict. I'm just feeling off. Something just isn't right. And what we do is we have this inner conflict, but we don't really understand the source of the inner conflict. And so we fight for these beliefs that don't suit us. They're not even friggin' true. And yet we'll still fight for them. And you fight for them because you had to fight for what was right, but you were wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? So when you're little, all these beliefs are being drilled into you, and you weren't aware of it at the time, but some of them, they just didn't line up. You just kind of knew this was off track. I was talking to a client the other day, and he spent most of his life really feeling like a loser. And as he went through my book, and I always tell people, don't just buy my book. I don't want you to buy my book. I want you to buy my book because you're going to go through the book. Reading the book is great. It's very, very good. But doing the book, I say, going through the book, letting the book work on you is really what makes the difference. Literally, that is a 30-day transformation that will get you unstuck so freaking fast. And it'll change the game instantly, and your life will change very, very quickly. Well, this person was, thinking like they were a loser, and when they started to uncover their beliefs and where they got them from, they said to me, I'm not the loser. My parents were losers, and they mistreated me, and I bought into it hook, line, and sinker that there was something wrong with me because, of course, I was making all these mistakes, and I looked like a loser. But it's because I was following the beliefs that got handed to me. It's no wonder I was struggling. And that was a big revelation for them. And so you fight for these beliefs because you had to fight for what was right. And so as you're having these beliefs drilled into you, they're not right. Some of them just weren't right. They didn't feel right. They didn't sit right with you. And you did try to fight back. You'd go against your parents. You'd speak up. You'd rebel. Whatever they said to you, that you were doing because you weren't following what was right according to them. And so you were made to feel that you were wrong. Well, you were actually right, but made to feel wrong. And so we've got these beliefs. You're holding on to beliefs that aren't even true. They're not even right for you. They never were, but you'll still fight for them, and you'll hold on to them. And you've got these inner conflicts going on, and you're questioning the wrong things. You keep questioning you. You never question the real source of your conflict. Now, there's a lot of conflict that gets created from the external, from the outside. Right? You're watching a video like this, and it might not sit with you. If it doesn't sit with you, stop it, delete it, don't follow me, don't ever listen to me again. That's not true. I mean, there might be some things I say that don't line up and other things that do, but there's things on the outside that are going on, and they cause these conflicts in you that just doesn't feel right. There's a lot going on in the world right now that just doesn't feel right. And then you've got all the things that are coming at you from the outside, and we don't really question them. We sit on our phones and we watch the news, and we hear people talk, and we get online and watch videos, and buy books and do different things, searching for what's wrong with us to solve the inner conflict. We're never really questioning the source of the information, right? You always default, because you have for so long. The self-help industry definitely perpetuates the feeling of what's wrong with you. Did you ever consider maybe what's wrong is the source of the information? Maybe what's wrong is what your parents said to you and how they treated you and what they did to you. Or maybe they're just the beliefs they passed along were just plain wrong. There's a very common belief that we were handed when we were young, that if you get a good education, you'll be successful and you get a good job. Well, that is absolutely not true. In fact, Russell Peterson, I heard the other day, is he's out there trying to create a new post-secondary education model where it's a hell of a lot cheaper, because it's very expensive to go to school and it doesn't really do you that much good. So that's one example. We got all these beliefs. We got to start questioning the source of our inner conflict. And the inner conflict also comes from the beliefs that you hold true and that you cherish. And so stop questioning yourself and start questioning the beliefs that you cherish. You really got to take a look, and you understand that all of the results you're experiencing in your life, and results mean, what does your life look like? What are your relationships like? How's your health? How are your friendships? How's your marriage? How's your job? How's your career? How's your income? Those are your results. And those results come from behaviors. And behaviors are all driven off of your beliefs, but we never question them. We always question our results, right? We always question our behaviors because we don't get the results that we want. Everybody else does the same thing, but have you ever questioned your beliefs? That is what is going on. That's where you have to go. So I challenge you, make a list of the things that would compose your ideal life. Now, just for fun, write down anything that comes to your mind on the basis that you don't care what anybody thinks. If you don't do that, you just start making a list, just pay attention and be aware, you will see yourself filtering out possibilities, eliminating possibilities that come to your mind because of these conflicts from these beliefs. So you got to park that for a minute. Just who cares what anybody thinks? You can't fail. Nothing's going to go wrong. The worst that's going to happen is nothing really at all. Just consider what those things would be to you. And then make a list of the beliefs that contradict what it is that you want. Make a list of the beliefs that are in conflict, that creates inner conflict for you. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they go, I just don't believe that. And I said, well, that's your problem. I've been working with this person for a while, and we're just starting to crack the exterior, this really tough exterior, where they're locked in to a set of beliefs because they just look at themselves. They look in the mirror, they look at the results, and they're locked into the beliefs about themselves and how they got there without even questioning the beliefs. And so I asked them about some of their beliefs, and I go, you're out to lunch. I said, that doesn't even make any sense. But they believe it. They were told to believe it. They were forced to believe it. They learned to believe it. They behave that way, and they just believe it. So who is right and who was wrong? Think about that. You really got to take a look at what you've been conned into believing. Now listen, if you haven't got my book yet, get it now. Now again, don't just buy it. get it and go through it. It's literally a 30-day system for discovering your mistaken identity, unlocking your true potential, and getting unstuck really, really fast. I discovered a secret to how to let go of your past and all the mental junk in a very simple, unconventional way. I was talking to a client this morning. She said, if people would just be ready for this and open to the idea that it could happen really fast and really simple, and it's really actually quite permanent, and it's actually quite profound. And so I challenge you. I challenge you to get the book and go through the book, and I'd love to hear from you. This is Doug Dane. Thank you.